Hello. Oh, whoa. Ah, look at that. There's a chat on the screen. I think there is. It's a little bit funky. We'll see if it brings on uh, if it brings on messages from places, because this is all still I'm still very much experimenting. But hello, hopefully you're all doing well. It is good to be back. We're doing more Thailands today, and I'm going to explain what we're working on, and hopefully be in a position where we can also be like you know, have everything working properly, because what we've got going on is more work on Thailand's 2.0, and one of the main things that I need to do for that is implementing proper support for controllers on Steam, because like I was saying in the last stream, I think the majority of users on, or for Thailand's majority of people who play the game are using a Steam Deck to play, which is really cool. And at the moment I can't share it because it's all NDA stuff in the Steam dashboard, but we are like almost completely compatible. There's just a couple of things that need going, which is the text is too small in some places, and it shows key bindings for a keyboard instead of for a controller. Something else that I also want to do though to make it better is add in support for a virtual cursor, so rather than having to have a mouse or use a touchscreen, I can have my controller and be like moving around the joystick and it will move the cursor around the screen. I can select with X, interact with square, go back with circle, blah blah blah. So all that being said, I've been trying to get that virtual cursor set up, but I've run into a bunch of issues with the way that I've implemented stuff in the game that means it doesn't just work. There's some extra changes that I need to make. So here's where I've gotten to so far. I'm going to just go in the settings again and turn off the music because I was playing with music earlier. But I can move the mouse around, which is all nice and good. And then if I turn on my PlayStation controller and it connects, I can start moving with the stick, but the mouse cursor isn't moving because it's pinned up in the top corner. I think it's this cursor visual. Yeah, it's doing crazy weird things. Because using the reference on here for some reason, it just doesn't like it. So I can change it to use the left stick, just like giving it the action directly. And then we get this cursor that moves around. But it doesn't highlight the buttons, which is not ideal. And it's because I'm using the player input module, rather than just using or setting up my inputs like programmatically and using some instance of the player input manager or the player input component, sorry, player actions in my scripts. I'm ending up with this kind of annoying conflict where it doesn't line up properly. The funny thing is, if I go in and disable this player input controller, and let me just go ahead and disable all of this update device stuff, and I'll do the same over on here again. Which file is it that I did the thing in? I think it's this one. I'm invoking an event. That event is being listened to by my mouse controller, is it? No, the mouse controller is what's doing the thing. So it's the mouse confiner that's then listening. Yeah, here we go. But I'm never firing the event, so it's never going to happen. And we go back on here and make sure that I'm not using a reference to an action there. And then if I hit play, let's also make sure I'm looking at everything going on chat. There we go. Now everything kind of half works, but it like deselects the buttons sometimes. It's really, it's fiddly. It kind of sucks to work with. But you know, we're going to figure it out today. And then we're also, hopefully, if time is our friend, we're going to do some leaderboard updates as well, so that we can have weekly leaderboards as well as permanent leaderboards. And that way I don't have to erase all of the scores that people have from version 1. A lot of it can just roll over and people can update as they need to go. Perhaps we also put like a label for what version the score was achieved with in the leaderboard. That might be a shout, actually. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, let's get into it. Barnacle, hello. Good to see you. This is gonna be a doozy of a stream. We're just gonna put that out there now. We're gonna be doing a lot of bits, cause I really don't know why this player input wouldn't be working with my virtual cursor, unless it's because these references are being overwritten. But that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Our event system is set up properly. So everything's fine there. The canvas. Why have I called you player input controller? You should be my player. Yeah. Virtual cursor. Canvas. That is all well and good. And what we really want to do is, yeah, I'd really like to figure out why why this doesn't line up. Okay, so I can leave the camera as nothing. And then the UI input module should have its actions synchronized to this player's input actions. So let's go to this input module. Yeah, actions asset is controls, which is the same as we're using on our player input. We've got point all set correctly. And yeah, everything's good here. So I don't know why there's a collision between using this component while using the virtual mouse component that they ship. Get my desktops lined up properly. Let's see. Unity, virtual cursor with player input component. I've already searched it, as you can see. So this is the, I think this is the docs for the class. We're on input system 1.5. Why are we not on a later version, I wonder? Because it says that they're all available here. And that seems to hold true. So that's something I'd like to look at. If I pop open the package manager real quick. General. Is it under general? Oh no, there it is. Package manager. Why do we not have an update for the input system? Look at the Unity registry, head to our input system. Nope. Perhaps it's just not, it actually isn't available on our version of Unity that we're using, in which case we're stuck with 1.5, which is fine. It's fine as long as we make sure we use the right documentation. So we're using this virtual mouse input class, and this is going to be like a direct look into how we actually debug stuff. And I've got my coffee here as well. Very good. I need it. I'm flagging today. UI graphic element that represents mouse cursor, that's all fine. I think everything is set up fine here. This component, let's zoom in as well so you guys can see what I'm seeing properly. Can be used with UIs that are designed for mouse input by hooking up the input actions component of this gamepad. Hooking up the input actions of this component to gamepad input and directing cursor transform, the UI transform with the cursor. Creates a virtual mouse device which can then be picked up elsewhere, such as by the input system UI input module, where mouse/pointer input is expected. Fine. That's all good. So I have a feeling this is probably where stuff is getting finicky, is that we're wanting to use this input system UI input module, but that's being overridden by the player input controller that we have here. What does auto switch do? That is just the devices. Yeah, cool. Action map to enable by default. If not set, no actions will be... Okay, that's fine. Something that I am considering, because... Wait, what am I saying? Yeah, something that I'm considering is if instead of using the software cursor, we just use the hardware cursor. Because what that does, just to demonstrate, is rather than making use of this mouse graphic, it actually lets us control the mouse. Like so, with the joystick. Which... surprisingly, doesn't fix our problem. But actually, we don't have any interaction at all now. Oh, Lord. What is going on? Something else that I'm finding as well, if I... You're going to invoke Unity events, that's fine. Virtual cursor, hardware, I'll leave that like that for now. I'm going to just apply all of my changes and I'm going to delete this. Because something that I'm finding is it occasionally breaks. So now we're getting our UI events. Kind of firing properly. Yeah, there's like some weird confliction where sometimes it just deselects the button, and I don't know if it's because the controller's connected and therefore the event system's getting confused, or what. Because it kind of works, but it also doesn't really. You're fine. So everything's fine now. If I start using the controller, stuff starts getting weird. Yeah, I mean, that's just extremely annoying. So I wonder what we do about that. I wonder what we do about that. Maybe I don't have the event system send navigation events. That might help me in some capacity. So not touching the controller yet. No, we've still got this weird issue. Which it is a really weird issue. I don't know why this would be happening, because there's no reason for it to. Unless somehow, have I somehow ended up with like 2 event systems? Nope, just one. Am I sure it's just one? I'm pretty sure I need the physics 2D raycaster, otherwise it just won't work at all, because that's kind of how the new input system works. No, he's fine without that. So maybe I get rid of the physics 2D raycaster, just to, like, you know, have some potential level of stability. There's one event system. Loading screen canvas doesn't have anything fancy on it. That's fine. You're fine. And that's all good. So, yeah, I don't really understand what the deal is here. Unless it is literally just a case of the controller navigation not lining up with the mouse, or causing issues with the mouse, which would be very not ideal if that is the case, because obviously we don't want these kind of conflicts coming in. Okay, so using the virtual mouse with the player input just doesn't work at all. If I disable that player input component and then that still doesn't like it. Am I getting any errors? Yes, I am. Line 16. Virtual mouse controller. Update visibility, of course. Wait, virtual mouse controller. Why is that throwing me null? This could be my problem. This low-key could be my problem. Virtual mouse controller. Whoops. Represents a method or yeah, okay. So I shouldn't need to make an instance of this, should I? Let me do a quick check on something. I'm gonna try putting this in the start method and just see if having that execution order changed gets rid of this no reference exception, because we shouldn't be running into any null issues. Ah, it does as well. I mean, that still doesn't fix our problem, like, but it's good to know. So I definitely want to use the software cursor. Still having our input bug. So it basically means I can't click the buttons unless I am moving the mouse. Oh, but... oh yeah, our virtual cursor is working now, but I have got my player input disabled, so if I enable that... yeah, there we go, we're broken again. But now this works. Lord. Yeah, I really don't know what the deal is here. Super confusing. Oh god. Choking on coffee. You're working normally now. But the software cursor is not. Right, okay. Let's do a look then and see. Unity player input, use software cursor. I mean, this isn't going to be it, but let's have a look at this forum post. I think this is probably going to be too low level for what we want. Yeah, it's not what I'm looking for. I imagine a lot of these are going to be not what we're looking for, because it's going to be people wanting to implement their own software cursors, and we don't want to do that. We want to use the one that already exists. What coffee am I sipping? It is a Marks and Spencer's, which is a supermarket chain in the UK. Marks and Spencer's vanilla espresso, or well, vanilla Nespresso pods, with milk and 2 sugars, because I need sugar. It's been really funny. We gave up chocolate for Lent. So I haven't had any chocolate for like a month and a half. And I get chocolate again on Friday, which I'm like, need it. Just insert that SpongeBob gif. But I'm like, it's just been made up for with like sweetened drinks. Usually I'd have a mocha, but you know, no chocolate, can't have the mocha. So I've just replaced the lost cocoa with extra sugar. Basically, it's terrible. Okay. I want to figure this out, because I feel like it feels to me like there should be a way for this to work. It doesn't track in my head that we would be running into issues with this. Wait a minute, let me also have a look at move. Type set to pass through, expected control type set to vector 2. I want to just check that that lines up with what my point action, yeah, control type vector 2, action type pass through, because I've got it set to the left stick here, but if I set that on the virtual cursor, it just is not having it. Like I say, if I yeah, use reference and grab my UI point. Is this where I'm going to discover that I've been using the wrong UI point this whole time? And now it's going to work perfectly. Oh my gosh. I think it actually is. So that's using the reference now. Well, that's something. That's something. Does that mean that I've also set all of these ones up wrong? So let's do player interact. I mean, that's definitely the only one. Yeah. That's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Okay, let me once again apply the override there so that that's using the correct value. Double check that it's still working. Can confirm it's still working. Good stuff, good stuff. So right, let me explain some backstory as to why I'm kind of doing this like this as well. So I want to be able to automatically switch between using the virtual cursor and using the mouse depending on what input what device is active. So I have a check on the virtual mouse controller here which listens for the event on my player input controls changed event. So this then, it listens to see when the input device or when the controls are changed, i.e. The default scheme or the current scheme changes, and then we can go on here, have a listen, and say, you know, if it's if our current control scheme after that update is the gamepad and our active device is not equal to the gamepad already, then we can set our active device to that. Otherwise, do this thing. So I was trying to do that originally using the basic. I don't really want to undo it too far. But let's try and get all the way back to it. There we go. This. So input system has a static event on action changed, which I can subscribe to. Problem with this, do I want to save? I don't know if I want to save and potentially risk losing what I did have, although it's easy enough to get back there, so let's do it. So if I set it up like this, let's rip this player input component off of my virtual canvas and hit save. I'm going to pull up the console so you can hopefully see everything being thrown. Hey, Bionicle's back to normal. There we go. So we get all of this stuff going on where we're getting like a whole bunch of errors being thrown when trying to switch between the two, because it just can't make its mind up as to which device it should be using for some reason. So my thought was then, okay, right, we don't have an instance of input system, I guess. So we'll go ahead and use the player input, because that's fine. Have it listen to, you know, the event callback on there instead. And that fixes this error, but using the player input module prevents the virtual mouse from doing its things. And I imagine it's probably got something to do with these not actually having any callbacks assigned to them. But that doesn't really track. So real quick, just to test that hypothesis, I'm going to go onto all of my buttons here, and I'm going to set up some automatic navigation. So what that does, if I just go and look at these buttons in scene and click visualize, you can see we've got some arrows, or hopefully you can see we've got some arrows drawn between the different buttons. And that signifies which, or like what the flow of navigation is between the buttons based on the input from my event system. So like if I was to trigger the move input, sending navigation events, if I'm on new game as the selected thing, which let's go ahead and set that as the default selected, and then I press down, we should go down to tile browser. Likewise, if we press down again, we go down to settings. So something that we can test to see if that still works with the player input in place is using my joystick. Yeah, so that's working fine, going through the navigation. So it is just the virtual mouse. Doesn't get picked up, and I imagine it's because that that navigation is maybe overriding it, because yeah, now my normal mouse isn't working again. Is that once more because of this player input? If I disable that, are you going to come back? No. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I feel like it should be a lot more straightforward to make these kind of things happen. Yeah, my mouse just doesn't work at all anymore. What is that? What is that? Unity, please. My guy. Oops, let's not pause. So what I might like to do then is actually, I may have just balked this completely. I'd like to go through and reset. Maybe I just want to go through and set all of these to none, but I don't think that's going to be true, because I think I definitely want something. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, cool. Save. Play. So my theory is nothing should work right now. Good, good, good. Nothing working. Don't have controller support. Good. Good, good, good. I'm going to delete the virtual mouse again, just to like be absolutely certain that everything now is broken. Yes, good. Nothing being selected. I can't click anything. I can't navigate. Fantastic. So back on the event system, I'm going to go through and reset all of these. So point is going to be point. Left click is going to be player interact. Yeah, player interact. Middle click is going to be middle click. Right click is going to be activate. Scroll wheel, move, move. Navigate, there we go. Which actually I am going to leave that as none, because I don't want to have any navigation. Submit, we're going to have as submit. Cancel, going to be cancel. Track position, track to orientation, track to orientation. Good. Advanced, that's fine. Lock behavior is outside of screen, not screen center, because we still want to be able to move the mouse inside the screen. Let's test. Waha. I can't click anything. Okay, okay. Can I... Whoops, I did not mean to click new game. That was not my intention. Oh gosh, and now there's a null pointer. That's fine, I expect that. Okay, that's good, that's good. So that means that my event system, we don't want to use player interact. We want to use, we do want to use UI click as the left click. But what we want to make sure we do is on our inputs, we want to update UI click to also have button south on the controller. Button south. You're going to be for gamepad. And then maybe we do the same for right click, although I don't really want to do the same for right click, so that's fine. Because this is more for like gameplay rather than the UI interactions. So actually, yeah, maybe we do update right click. Let's do that. Right click, add a binding. Gonna have that be button west, aka square on the PlayStation controller. Save that. Control S, press play. We should now have our buttons working again. Good. Everything is behaving as we expect it to. That's fine. That is all good. So, now, if I drag my virtual cursor back in, there it is. Let me just make sure I'm not doing anything stupid here. Virtual mouse controller, set up a singleton for it. Input device. Yep, that's all fine. I guess we probably want to... We want to grab our initial case. Or maybe I'll just put in it as an additional case, which is equal to like -1. And that way the default value is going to be in it. And maybe on awake, we call update input device with get component player input, like that. So we just do like an initial case or an initial state. And actually let's fire this off in start. Because again, execution order. I want to make sure that everything's initialized before I fire this code. My player input controller should not be doing anything. Yeah, player input controller is empty. Good. And then the only other thing I've got is the virtual mouse confiner, which is pretty simple. It just updates the visibility, but then also does some stuff for scaling, because that's another really annoying bug with Unity's implementation of the virtual cursor. It doesn't work with canvas scaling, so when you change the screen resolution to something different to what the reference resolution on the canvas is, it scales the canvas, if you've got a canvas scaler component on it, so that all the UI stays the right size for the new screen. But that messes up the input event locations for the virtual cursor, so you have to go in and like change the scale of the canvas that the mouse is on, the virtual cursor is on, to be normal, but then also update the scale of the cursor so that it's the right scale for what it was or what it should be. Ugh, it's just ridiculous. It's really stupid. Like, I love Unity, but it's god awful sometimes. So now that's all working as I would expect. Oh, none of that is working as I was expecting. Yeah. So that's funny. Hey, that is not what I wanted to do. And I can't pause, of course. And my mouse has disappeared. Stop. That's weird. That's different behavior. Have I still got something commented out here? Nope. That's very interesting indeed. So we're somehow ending up with both things active at once. Which that makes me think maybe our active device is actually the mouse. I'm going to pop open this input debug screen while we play. Because the mouse is good. Oh, the mouse is now hidden. Okay, so now it's behaving. But yeah, the virtual cursor still isn't doing what I need it to do. Oh, that's annoying. I can't open it. You probably can't see on stream, but like right up in the top of the input debug, there's a drop down for devices. And when I move the cursor, it sets devices to 5 instead of 4. And then I've just removed the joystick. Oh, it's probably because it's the virtual. It'll be the virtual cursor, won't it? So what I want to do, let's do a debug.log updating input. Oh my gosh, can't type input device. Zoom this in a little bit again as well, so it's still a little more visible on stream. So doing that, what I want to look for is if we're firing this like every frame when we're using the virtual cursor. Because odds are I probably want to ignore the virtual cursor or the virtual mouse. Oh wait, there it is. I think I need to reconnect my PlayStation controller. Let me just do that. Disconnect. Reconnect. There we go. There he is. No, good, we're only firing it once. Not exactly sure what I'm looking for on this. I don't want the delta, I want the position. So the position is... Oh, wait. I could potentially be... figuring something out. Is this going to be because of the scaling that I'm doing? No, it's not to do with the scaling that I'm doing. Okay, that's fine. Although the scaling does break my confining logic, annoyingly. So you'll see, like, normally I've set it up so that you can't move the mouse cursor out of the screen. But if I set it up to 4K... Oh no, it's fine. But that wasn't working just then. What if I set it to 16:9? It moves a lot faster. That's fun. So it moves really slowly on 4K, and then really quite fast on 1080p. It's making me wonder if I can be bothered. Or if I just kind of let it be. Because it's a bit of a doozy. Now my mouse isn't working again. What? Bruh, why is my mouse not working again? But it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. Is there something that am I missing something glaringly obvious that someone can see? Because I feel like I must be. Feel like I must be. I think let me test something real quick. So I'm going to just super speedy. I'm going to do an input system dot on device change. Maybe I want on device change instead of on action change. Let's do that. Plus equals test device. Or yeah, let's just do some naming convention. Input system underscore on device change. And let's generate that method. So in here, I'm just going to do a debug.log. And I'm going to use string interpolation, say switching device to device.name, display name. Nice. And this is also a situation where I probably want to be reading the documentation because, you know, just kind of blindly meandering my way through. Likely not the best approach. I'll get rid of that debug log there because we know that we're not firing that. And we're going to see what this spits out at us. Switching device to virtual mouse, switching device to pen. Okay, that switched to the virtual mouse. That just threw out another switching to virtual mouse. So that probably explains why my normal mouse stops working. It's just switching to the virtual mouse instead of the normal mouse. I don't even know. Time to read more docs. So yeah, teaching stuff. I don't have specific timelines for it. If there's a time that makes sense for you to want to do it, just let me know, and we can arrange it to be in then. But I operate the course, as it were, on a like a per person basis. So if you wanted to do that course, effectively it's split into 3 months of like a lesson every week, which comes with like homework and stuff around that as well. But yeah, absolutely, if that's something you're interested in, shoot me a DM on Discord and I will give you some info. But yeah, happy to do it over the summer or happy to do it at a different time. Just let me know. Right, what was I looking at? Input system, on-device change. Switch change. Device was added, device was removed. Okay, so we can find out information about the device from the change. Oh, I see. So on device changed doesn't track when we change device. It literally tracks when a device changes. Good to know. Good to know. In which case, I probably don't want to be using on device change. I want to be using on action change, on layout change. Be nice if I could like see all of these in a nice little list. There we go. This is exactly what I wanted. So on action change, event is signaled when the state of an enabled actions in the system changes or when actions are triggered. Okay, probably not what I want. Yeah, probably not what I want. Layout change. Added, removed, updated. On device command. Can be used to intercept commands and optionally handle them without them reaching the low level runtime. I don't think that's what I'm gonna want. And settings changed. Any properties in settings change, or if settings is replaced entirely with a new input settings object. So that's not what I want either. Maybe it is going to be on action change that I want then. input action map, or an input action asset, depending on where the If the action is not a part of an action map, I don't care about that. I don't want to know that. Input control layout. I think this is probably not what I want either. So it is going to be on action change. And this is just an object. And this is... I don't remember. It is an input action change. Oh, how was I doing this before? Let me... So I can say if... Let's rename this to arg1. I can say if is not input action, then we return because we don't care. Otherwise, let's say var action equals arg1 as input action, so that we have an actual cast for it. And then we can check the active control on that action. So rather than actually just listening for like a device change callback, we're literally just listening for an action being fired and checking to see what that device is. So acting device is, and let's do action dot active control dot display name. Let's do that. Do we want to ignore the virtual mouse? Probably we want to ignore the virtual mouse. Thing is though, yeah, we get a null reference exception here on this. Virtual mouse controller 44. Is my action null? That could be the problem. And maybe it's because I'm using a var instead of an explicit definition. Perhaps I need the explicit definition. Also, my chat box absolutely isn't working, is it? That's handy. Thank you. Thank you, Restream. Very cool. Oh well, I'll figure that out another day, because right now I care more about getting this mouse working, because I think realistically that's actually going to end up being the only thing that we do today. Unfortunately, still 2 errors. What line? 46. Okay, okay. But it's only on startup, so now everything is kind of running. Acting device is position. That's thank you very much. I don't want active control then, do I want something else. Device, there we go. I'll tell you what, let's throw a null check in there as well. If action is equal to null, return. Which I don't think that should happen. I wonder if it's the active control is null and I'm just being a dummy. We'll find out. No, I don't want to do that. There we go. Makes a lot more sense. So, if argument 1 is not an input action, then we return. Otherwise, we're going to debug.log acting device is whatever that action's device display name is. Cool. So we shouldn't get any null errors now, is the main thing to look for first. And yet we still get a null error on line 42. So yeah, it's getting here. Active control must be null. Which is interesting. So device is mouse. Way, there's a null exception. But device is DualShock Wireless 4 controller. Device is DualShock 4 wireless controller. Okay. Whoa, now we've got a whole load of null exceptions being thrown. Where are they coming from? Line 42 again. So yeah, it must be must be this action is null. Perhaps let's do a check on change. We want to say if change is not equal to input action change.action performed. Because I think it should always have an active control if the action is performed, right? That feels like it makes sense. Let's find out. Great, no exceptions. The mouse is what's doing the thing. DualShock Wireless Controller 4. Now I'm moving the mouse again, I'm not getting any logs out. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's something. So, off the back of that, let's instead Let's add an additional line here for action.activecontrol.device is gamepad. I think that should do it. So now we'll be able to see in these debug logs, granted it maybe doesn't necessarily show up as clear as I would like it to on stream, but we'll be able to see there if it's telling us stuff that makes sense. So is gamepad is false? Is gamepad is true? Okay. So let me now also then, rather than doing the update here, let's go ahead and remove this player input component. And that means this method isn't going to get fired anymore because nothing's calling it. But let's check and see if it starts throwing errors now, because we don't have any player input in the scene. Oh, we're getting like lots of instances of everything being thrown. The virtual mouse controller is throwing an error on 52. Yep, wait, what? Why are you throwing an error? Oh, because yep, makes sense. Let's get rid of that start method. It concerns me that there's this many different lines. That makes me think that every device is calling stuff right now, and kind of calling it constantly as well. That's exactly what's happening. So we've got 3 virtual mice and the normal mouse. But something that I would like to check. I now have this weird multi-select bug going on. And I also can't move my cursor up from the top right of the screen. Ah, Lord have mercy. Okay, so I think what I probably want to do is go in here and say if action dot and it's going to be active control dot device dot display name dot equals virtual mouse. Yep, no space. Then we return. We don't care about the virtual mouse. So that should now only give us 2. Good, good. They are both firing off events constantly. Which kind of explains a lot. Actually, you know what? Let's just copy paste these into here. And we're going to say if the action is gamepad and our device is not already gamepad, we switch to gamepad. Otherwise, whoops, didn't mean to copy, I meant to paste. If action is mouse and we're not already using a mouse, then use the mouse, right? I am fumbling my way through this. I'm not gonna lie. Also, it feels like the first hour of this stream went by insanely quickly, and then I've just looked up at the clock again, and it's only been like 10 minutes since the last time I looked at the clock. What? So now I'm getting null pointer exceptions. Now I'm getting null pointer exceptions, or like weird index out of range exceptions. Where is that being called from though? Like why is that a thing? Is it because I've switched this to value type? Let's switch this back to display name. Yeah, we're still getting it on the gamepad. That's so weird. Like, why? Why is that? Why are we getting an index out of range exception? I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you think so. Like to have some nice chill tunes. I don't actually know what song this is. It's from Tears of the Kingdom. Which I still haven't finished Tears of the Kingdom. I really need to do that. I need to get on it. Maybe that's how I'll spend my evening today. Just play some Tears of the Kingdom. Decompress after the nightmare that is trying to get a virtual cursor working for tile lands. Oh, that's so ridiculous. It's literally adding in these bits. Like if I comment those two lines out again and hit play, I bet you everything is going to work again, or it's, you know, it's not going to be throwing errors, at least. And we should end up with both of our devices showing. Yeah, look at that, no errors. Can I still can't move my mouse though. It's well and truly rooted up in the corner. Not too sure what the deal is there. Oh well, we'll figure that one out. So it's something I'm going to assume it's probably this. If action.control.device input device, input control. So yeah, it's an input device. Whoops. You know what? I don't need to check if it's not, like, if it's a mouse. I can just default. If we're not using a gamepad, we're using a mouse. That's going to be, I mean, it's kind of poor practice, but that's going to be my thing. And then set active device. Oh, it's probably because it's a pass-through value, because we're like firing, yeah, because we're using a pass-through value. It's going to be firing it every frame, and it's always going to be performed. I mean, that shouldn't be a problem, though. That shouldn't be a problem. That should be fine. Ha 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 ha. Oh, oh, oh. We're not getting the error. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. So that means the error's here? Is that what we're saying? It is insane how hard game dev is. Like, genuinely. It's kind of like any programming discipline, though, to be fair. You have... Because you blame the computer, but it's fully your own fault, because you're trying to explain it in what you think is the logical way to explain it, but actually it doesn't make any sense. Although there is then also, you know, the big issue of working with engines and libraries, that the engines and libraries don't make a lot of sense. Because it's not just like, I'm writing code, it makes sense to me, I can make it make sense to the computer. It's someone's already written code that I need to have make sense to me as well as the computer, so that I can write more code that uses that code to make sense to the computer. It just doesn't work like that. I need to sleep more, clearly. Right, so if I hit play, are we going to end up with a error? We are! Right, okay, so why? I imagine it's probably because it's firing these, like, constantly one after the other. If I comment out this one... No, we're still getting the error. Okay. Okay. So... set device type. Yeah, active device equals device type. Cursor.visible. So it's something about setting the device type to mouse. The cursor should be visible if active device is equal to mouse. Let me just comment out this event invoke and see how we end up. Oh gosh. My stream is still going. Yes, good. I reloaded the restream page and I was panicking for a second that maybe it would break everything, but it looks like we're still running. So I'm gonna just do a shimmy to see if I can see it. Yeah, cool. Jeez. Honestly. Right, train of thought. Lock in. Where were we? Yes, I commented out that event to see if we still get the error. Because it doesn't make sense to me that that would be... Yeah, there we go. So, there's something about on-game device changed. Is causing us problems if the device type is mouse. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to update this to be a action of type bool. And I'm going to invoke it with this. And then over on my virtual cursor, we're going to have update visibility, take a bool. Cursor active. And we'll use that. And I need to make sure I'm not being a dummy and passing the opposite, because if the mouse is turned on, we want the virtual cursor turned off. So my brain now is telling me that we shouldn't have issues. Everything should be as it's supposed to be. But, you know, knowing my luck, we're going to end up with an error being thrown anyway. There it is. So why? It could be... It could be because I'm disabling the whole virtual mouse instead of just disabling the graphics. Where if that is it, I'm gonna do something. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that was it. Okay, so I mean we still have problems because it's firing events constantly. So we're always switching between the two. And that's something that I'm not sure how we fix. Oh, this is a super old... Wait, no, it's not. I was looking at when people had joined the forum instead of when the posts were. I mean, this is still behind where I want. I don't want to use the player input class because the player input class doesn't work with the virtual mouse. I just want an event. Like an event that could fire off for when a different device is used instead of having to listen to an action. I wonder if I can listen to action map enabled instead. I mean, I suppose that's going to give me the argument as an action map rather than an action. Maybe let's do action started. Although I have a hunch we're still going to have the same problem. So we're just not switching controls at all now? Is that what we're saying? Oh. So weird thing, if I do literally anything other than... Look at this, I can move and I can select and it does nothing. But if I press the trigger, the mouse disappears and my cursor comes back. But I still can't move the cursor. And my mouse still doesn't work. This is awful. This is abysmal. Absolutely tragic. Because I really don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. Like, it almost makes me think I just want to try and do the whole system from scratch. Or use the hardware hardware cursor, because I think that should do the thing. I mean, my cursor is still stuck in the top left of the screen and enabling / disabling. Yeah, some really, really whack behavior going on. Let me comment this out completely real quick. I want to make sure that my events are all... Oh, I'm not unsubscribing. I mean, I don't think that's gonna be my problem, but we want to make sure we're unsubscribing from this event on destroy. Always want to unsubscribe from your events. I mean, that could easily be what's causing some of the wacky behavior we're getting here. We'll find out. I doubt it, but we'll find out. Getting a lot of emails right now. Yeah, and we're getting constant stuff through from the gamepad again. Yeah, it's a real doozy. Although it potentially kind of explains I mean, it doesn't explain why we're getting flickering, because if it's constantly coming from the gamepad, but it's not constantly coming from the mouse. Oh, wait. No, but it's not something else. Because we're printing the device.display name. So we know, yeah, this is always coming good. If it is a gamepad. And our active device is not set to gamepad, then we set active device to gamepad. And that does the thing. Active device equals this. And we return. I don't need an else because I'm returning, but I'm suspicious something's going on here where somehow it's changing back and forth. Like, I think we can probably, let's put a debug.log updating active device. Oh, hit caps lock by accident. Because I want to see if it's doing it every frame, or well, with every input action at least, because it shouldn't be, and yet it is. So that's interesting, and that's coming from line 54. Yeah, virtual mouse controller 54. So yeah, it's running this line constantly, which means somehow this is returning true, even though our active device is equal to device type.gamepad. War. Let's have a look what that's getting logged out as. Because it's just, it's updating the active device constantly. Which it should not be doing. It should only be doing it when the change happens. And even then it shouldn't be flicking backwards and forwards. And yet somehow it is. Only on mouse though. Active device is equal to mouse. Am I not setting... Is it not setting active device equal to gamepad for some reason? Whoops. I think that might be exactly what's happening though. For some reason... It's not updating properly. So let's figure out why. That'll be step one in trying to untangle this mess. The thing is, I'm doing this work. I don't think this is going to work in game. Okay, so yeah, we're updating active device to gamepad. Active device equals device type. There's got to be something funky going on, because this just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up in the slightest. Have I done something stupid somewhere where I'm like accidentally setting active device equal to something early? Because what I'm seeing is our acting device being mouse. This call is only getting fired, like it's not being fired right now. We're frozen at 173, but we're doing the update stuff multiple times. And the only log of active device equals, which is the line that we've got here, I mean, it would make sense that that only is mouse. It shouldn't be gamepad in there ever, so that tracks. But it doesn't make sense that we're not... Yeah, it doesn't make sense that we're not getting more acting devices this for the mouse. We're only getting it for the DualShock controller. And yet somehow we're still updating the mouse, which doesn't add up. Let me chuck that check back in there. Okay. That's done something, so now it's just the DualShock controller firing events constantly, but the fact that it's firing events constantly makes me think that this isn't going to be the approach. So I don't think we can go down this route. We're gonna have to figure out something else, because otherwise, we're just going to end up with the mouse flickering when it's not acting. Might need to refer back to some Code Monkey. Let me pull this video up here. Oh, ads, please.
The cursor is visually exactly where it should be. So then another thing is how to do various actions. You can use them as reference in that one. So for example, in here, instead of binding directly to the left stick, you could bind directly to this action. The benefit of that one would be if you rebind this action.
First of all, let me make sure that I've got everything set up properly here. So my canvas, yeah, using canvas scaler. We're not blocking any raycasts. I might just set that back to everything just so I've not fiddled with any settings. Everything is default. Virtual cursor 00000. That's how it should be. We're using the software cursor. We've got our cursor graphic. We've got our cursor visual rect. We've got this cursor confiner, which actually I might just disable for the time being. So this has everything set up with the actions from our... Yep, our player controls. We're not using anything from the default controls. That's good. Our event system is also using our controls object. Disable send navigation events, because we don't want those. Cursor visual has nothing on it. Cool. Cool. I'm going to just get rid of this player input controller for the time being. And the virtual mouse controller is the thing that we're using to track this input change and thus switch our devices. Okay.
Action, then you wouldn't need to update over here the virtual.
So actually, yeah, let's do a speedy quick check. Let's just comment everything out in that method. So it's literally doing nothing. I just want to see everything working. Like independently of anything fancy. So we're getting this weird enable disable thing. Our virtual cursor is also off on 1. Set it to 0, 0. It immediately just disappears and it's not moving anymore. Yeah, it's just not moving anymore. I mean, where even is it? Where even is it? Where is that? Can I move you back to 0, 0? And then it's gone. Maybe it's because of the scaling. So let's go back to 1920 by 1080 full HD. But we're still not getting, any movement. Like, I don't even know. It's miles away. It is miles away. Why? Why is it miles away? I've got nothing on there that's doing anything fancy. Perhaps this mouse controller, but yeah, we've got no reference to it. We're not doing anything. For all intents and purposes, that script is not running any code. So we shouldn't be getting things flying off into the distance. There we go. That's working. Okay, everything working as should be. Like I say, we've still got this issue of wait for it. Yeah. Things selecting and deselecting weirdly, like ghost selections. But our controller is working. Can I scroll? I can. It's a bit jumpy. So there's definitely some conflict somewhere between like what's selected, and I think it's probably going to be because of navigation events. But I still want to be able to have those things enabled. I still want to be able to scroll with the mouse and whatnot. I'm tempted to just start from scratch. Not gonna lie. Because a lot of this just, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. There's weird conflicts that feel like they shouldn't be happening. Because what's like annoying as well is I'm pretty sure if I go in here and delete this, it's going to fix the issue of stuff selecting and deselecting weirdly, or highlighting and unhighlighting. but alas it doesn't. And I think that's still because I've got... yeah, it's because of the controller. Even though I've got navigation events disabled, it still seems to be firing navigation events, which again makes me think I have another event system in the scene. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of Text Mesh Pro. Let me turn those off. Why are they still showing? I just want to see event systems, because it doesn't add up. Something is not adding up. Whoops. But yeah, I've definitely only got the one. Do I have multiple input system? UI input module? Nope, only the one. Definitely, absolutely only the one event system. Is there anything weird where input just kind of happens on the main camera? I'm losing my mind here. I'm losing my mind. Yeah, look at this. Look at it go. I might have to call it, annoyingly. I might have to call it and go off and do some more research, because this is... It's weird. It's a bit annoying. So yeah, we're still just getting a bunch of events coming from this PlayStation controller. Which it does make me wonder, if I go back to my controls real quick, I'm going to just remove that left stick binding and the scroll wheel binding as well. And I want to see, I mean, I think we'll still be getting loads of events, but I don't think we should be getting any actions performed anymore. Yeah. So immediately that's just like solved everything. In which case, if I grab my virtual cursor back out again, and just use actions. I think that should sort my conflicts good. Great. So basically, I just don't want to use my input actions, I guess. Oh, I've put it as middle mouse button instead of scroll. Let me... I mean, I can click and drag. Whee! Okay. So, right, let's just write that as done. We're not going to use actions. We are going to use references directly. Or we're not going to use references. We're going to use actions directly. I'm going to just re-add that as white stick. Re-enable my cursor confiner, because I think that should be working fine now. Touch wood. I mean, it's kind of not. I need to work out. I'll need to do some maths to figure out the bounds, basically. But I can go through and select all my things. Can I look at my tile browser? Yes, I can. Oh, but it's not. It's not highlighting. Why? Why? This was working. Oh! I can do all the buttons, but it's not doing the thing. Which, again, it makes me want to just say, you know, let's use the hardware cursor instead. Because if I change this to hardware cursor and I just add a separate script that's going to follow the mouse, I could just use the mouse. Here it is. There I go. Bang. Let's go tile browser. The problem is with using the hardware cursor. Oh, I mean, that doesn't work anyway. Are they just not working now? They're just not working. Why? Once again, let me remove the virtual canvas. This is so much trial and error. I hate it. It sucks. I'm gonna apply all my changes here. We need some new music as well, because I've been going for longer than 2 hours. So we've hit the end of the playlist. Let's go Hitano Village.
You see this photo?
Just get rid of this advert real quick.
This comes from...
Thank you. Yeah, that's better. Right, yeah, apply all overrides, delete you from the scene, and I want to go in here and I want to make sure that my mouse is doing the thing. It's not doing the thing. Why is it not doing the thing? Because these all have, unless I've busted my event system by not having navigate on here. But no, that doesn't seem to be it. So maybe it's because I'm not using the default input actions. Have I got something different there? Nope. Could be because of default selected and we're... this is frustrating. I am gonna have to stop streaming soon because I need to go and sort stuff around the house. But yeah, these now are not not responding to the mouse events. And again, it could be because I've got this DualShock controller linked, but I don't think that's it. Thing is, I don't know what... Nothing else has changed. Nothing else has changed. I think I'm probably going to have to just revert to a previous version of my scene. Let's just do that. Undo all my scene changes. And see if that brings us back to where we were. Tile browser... Yeah, good. Okay. Okay, so with that, let's bring the virtual cursor back in. And see where we're at. This is why we stan source code management. Okay, I can still select everything normally. Let me go ahead and, whoops. Reconnect my DualShock. Great. So the virtual cursor is working. Good, good. Can't click any buttons with it though. So why can't I click any buttons? Because I'm using player interact instead of UI select. Or UI click even. And perhaps because I'm, again, because I'm using the... Screw it. Screw it. Left button, middle action, I don't care. Right button, yeah. Forward button, don't care. Back button, scroll wheel. I'm really eager to get to the bottom of this. Okay, good. We've got selection back. Tile browser. That's not what I clicked. Game. Why am I zoomed in as well? I don't want to be zoomed in. I did not click new game. I clicked tile browser. It's probably because I'm sending navigation events. But there we go. Everything is working. That's cool. Yeah. So if I go on the event system and disable navigation events, save. We shouldn't be getting any of these weird behavior bugs anymore. Good, good. Everything seems to be behaving as it should be. This is progress, this is progress. So now it's just figuring out this switching. Just don't comment again and see what happens. We may well end up getting our null exceptions being thrown again, which would be a pain in the backside. Confiner is enabled. Controller is enabled. Let's just make sure the confiner has its, yep, everything's set up there. Yeah, it's just switching between the two. Or when I move the mouse, it just goes straight back to the gamepad. I do want to check as well to see if this is going to work in the actual game itself, because I have a terrible sinking feeling that it won't. Because I'm using the player input component. This is going to be the last thing I do. I'm going to test to see if the cursor works in game. Have I forgotten to put the do not destroy on load on it? I think I must have done. If it's not going to work, I think I'm just going to call today a write-off and do everything from scratch myself. Yeah, I can't click anything. Oh, that's a shame. That is a real shame. I can interact with the UI, but I suppose it's not... Oh yeah, we're also not ignoring navigation here. Unless I rewrite it to not use the player input controller and just subscribe to stuff. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Whoops. Oh dear, I've busted all of my everything. Oh, stop. Right, tell you what, let's go and do that real quick then. Let's just go into the game scene and disable navigation events on our input system. We'll also... Do I need to disable submit? I don't think I need to disable submit. Can player input component use virtual mouse? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I think I've just had a realization. Let me, hold on. Let me go onto this player controller. On the player input, I would want the UI events to line up rather than the... Oh, that could be it. Okay, let me try something real quick. If I go back into the main menu real quick, thing is, I imagine these... No, not the UI view manager, the event system. What I was going to do is change... I was going to change this to controls. Let me just save that, hit play, and see what happens there. Cool, everything's still working. If I change my click to player interact, and let me just confirm that that is definitely what I think it is. Oh, it doesn't even have buttons linked to it. Oh my gosh. Right, let's okay. We might be getting somewhere. I think mouse position can still be mouse position. So player interact, right click is going to be player activate. Oh, cross your fingers, everyone. I am crossing my toes. My fingers are preoccupied with handling the controller. Right. Ah, see, now I can't click anything. And I think I probably can't with the mouse either. Yeah, no. So that's interesting for sure. So then what I want to try... Could I try some Ori background music in the future? Absolutely, I can. I'll look to see if I can find a decent video that handles that. Or that does like a good playlist of it. Because I do like the Ori soundtrack. Although I have to say, it's not necessarily my favourite of all the options. I am a big fan of the Hollow Knight soundtrack. And the Neversong soundtrack. That's a really good soundtrack, actually. It's one that I used to use a lot. Okay, my UI components are working. So what I wonder is if I can go into my game scene and update my player controller to do the player stuff with the UI buttons. So click is going to be my on player interact. Right click is going to be my on player. Activate. And then set mouse position. I'm not really sure how we're going to do that. Yeah, how am I going to do that? Because I don't have anything that tracks the mouse position in the UI. I mean, I guess I could use point. Let's try it, see what happens. And I will change the default map to UI. And then I want to see if that fixes my problem. And that is definitely the last thing that I do, because that's 2.5 hours. And like I said, I need to go and sort some stuff around the house. Everything's still working here. That's good. I can hit new game. And now the mouse position, style lands, doing all the stuff. That's still working. Oh, I can't click. It was worth a shot. It was worth a shot. Everything seems to be working correctly here though, which is good. Yes, I'm sure I want to end. I wonder if it will continue in the middle of the tutorial. No, it throws errors. Okay. That's definitely something I need to patch. Oh. Leon Codes, hello. You've rocked up at an inopportune time because I'm about to wrap up, unfortunately. But to be fair, I think if I was to keep going, I would not make any progress anyway, because virtual cursors are a pain in the backside. Though, if you happen to know anything about them and you're in the Discord server or fancy joining the Discord server, link in description, please do, and help me because I'm going insane. But anyway, with that, I'm gonna call the stream there. I want to say thank you to everyone who did come. I'll be streaming again tomorrow. Streaming every day. It's great. Hopefully I can fix this issue by then. Potentially look to do more of it on stream tomorrow. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, through the Bikegrad Discord. Nice. Nice. I mean, you know, still, if you want to come along and learn stuff with me. And actually, to be fair, if you know more about the React stuff as well, because I'm trying to set up the new website for the studio with Next.js, and I'm like a little bit of the way through, but there was a weird bug that I was running into with trying to do page transitions using GSAP, and a weird conflict between Next.js's route handling and how GSAP works. So maybe we could talk about that, because it's definitely interesting. But anyway, yeah, gonna end the stream there. I'll be back tomorrow, so watch this space. Join the Discord server if you haven't already. If you want to support the studio, there's a link to the Patreon in the description as well. It really does help out, especially because we are making the transition to trying to do it full time. So any financial contribution is much appreciated and really does help support what we do here. And with that, thanks very much. I will see you guys tomorrow. Cheers!